I thought it was very interesting the way you talked about that the journalists are the ones who want Zoltan to do the more exotic stuff, about the mind uploading and having the robots around and all the rest of it, whereas he himself wants to just focus on people living indefinitely and healthy lives in their biological bodies. But actually that split exists within transhumanism. Okay? Yeah. And so that's a very interesting point. It isn't merely an artifact of the journalists. In a sense, Zoltan has made a very kind of conscious, you might say, prioritization of what is the, so he knows, as well as the rest of us know, that there are, as it were, two kind of end-state scenarios within transhumanism that kind of live very uncomfortably with each other. One is that you live in your biological body, pretty much as you are in your younger years or age 40 or whatever forever through some kind of regenerative medicine or something of that kind. And that's kind of more Zoltan's thing. But then there's the Ray Kurzweil thing, right? Where in a sense, in the long term, you upload, right? And the only way you're going to have immortality is by going down that route. And we have to create the technologies that are able to do that. Okay? And those two things exist within transhumanism. I'm always struck by how there isn't more conflict between them. Right, because in terms of what the agendas are with regard to science and technology policy, where you allocate your resources with regard to people, they actually have massively different implications. Okay, but Zoltan has made a very kind of conscious prioritization on these matters. So I think that this kind of thing that you talk about in terms of him negotiating with the journalists is actually a deeper conceptual issue about what the transhumanist utopia looks like. My own view, for what it's worth, is I believe we given that we're contemplating such radically diverse options for humanity 2.0, we have to reinvent a liberal society where people who pursue one or the other option, as well as the 1.0 option that still exists now, can live together in one society. That's the tricky political problem, right? Is to actually enable all of these different options to flourish simultaneously. Okay? But Zoltan, I think, has made a very smart move from a politically strategic standpoint, because the issue about healthcare is a big one, and it's especially a big one in the United States, where there's no national health service at all. So in a sense, what he's advocating, from our standpoint, it would be kind of a step change, but from his standpoint, he's actually talking about something quite major. And there are a lot, and regardless of all the controversy that has taken place over Obamacare in the United States, most people regard this as kind of a good thing and long overdue. Okay? And I think he's tapped into that and said, look, we could even go further than that.